Hey, happy Friday, everyone. Hope you are doing well. We are again at the end of the work week. The weekend is here, and I hope everybody's having an amazing day. It's a beautiful day today, and this is In the Raw, Unscripted, Unpracticed, Unedited Conversation. And we have been talking about the challenge in seeking God. Kind of forgot a little bit here. Had to read it. The challenge in seeking God, and we've been talking about why it is a challenge, why it becomes a challenge to seek God, because we have so many things that happen in our lives and we are so distracted that sometimes we forget, or we just kind of put it aside and we don't seek God when we are supposed to. And we've been taking as an example the story of King Asa in the second book of Chronicles, and how he decided to seek God, and the decisions that he made to seek God, to seek the God of his ancestors. And he had been led astray from God because of his parents, his grandparents, and they had allowed for pagan worship, to pagan gods, and then he realized that he needed to seek God, and so we left off on the third decision that he made. He made different decisions. He made several decisions that allowed him to seek God, and the first decision that he made was, we find it here, he made an effort to please God. So he made an effort. It's not just pleasing God, but you have to make an effort to please God. You need to commit yourself to pleasing God. Then the second decision was to remove what weakens your faith. So he removed all the sacred pillars and cut down all the pagan shrines and the foreign altars, as it says in the story. And so he removed everything that weakened his faith, and we need to do that as well. And the third decision that we're going to talk about today is found in 2 Chronicles 14, verse 4. And it says, he commanded the people of Judah to seek the Lord, the God of their ancestors, and to obey his law and his commands. So the third thing we must do if we're going to seek God and find him and seek him wholeheartedly is check your priorities. You need to check your priorities. King Asa said, there is nothing more important than following God, obeying his laws and commandments. He checked and ordered his priorities. How many times do we say, okay, I'm going to do the most important things now, first. God is going to be my priority. Especially at the beginning of the year, we say and we think about these things called New Year's resolutions, right? I'm going to read the Bible more. I'm going to pray more. I'm going to fast. But it doesn't last long. And I'm talking about spiritual things, but also just everyday things, like I'm going to exercise more. I'm going to read more. I'm going to, spend more time with my family, etc. It doesn't last long, right? It's like the popular, things that, like diets, I remember when I was a kid, my mom had a friend, and she would always say, okay, I'm going to start my diet on Monday, right? And that Monday never came because it wasn't a priority. But Asa did something that was key in keeping God at his priority. He did something key. And this is found in a few chapters ahead, 2 Chronicles 17:17. I'll read it. It says, although the pagan shrines were not removed from Israel, Asa's heart remained completely faithful throughout his life. So when he ordered all the pagan shrines to be removed, not all of them were removed, right? Some of these people went against his word and they did not remove all of them. But although they were not removed, Asa's heart remained completely faithful throughout his life. There's always going to be opposition, and things aren't always going to go as we plan. Just like King Asa, he ordered all these shrines excuse me, to be removed, but it didn't happen. But it says he remained faithful. In another version, it says that he remained committed. He remained committed for the rest of his life. You know, priorities are held when there's real commitment, right? If there's no commitment, you can't keep priorities. So my question for you is this: is there something for which you are willing to commit for the rest of your life? One of the most important thing is your marriage, if you're married, right? I'm sure that you are committed for the rest of your life to your marriage, right? You're also committed to your family, to your children. I bet there's very few things that you are willing to commit for the rest of your lives, right? But I also think that there are some things that have compromised you and are not that important, right? Things that you kind of took on and they're not as important, but you took on them, right? And that's why we need to check our priorities. In other words, what I mean is that the things that we have committed to for the rest of our life should be our priority. We should always have the most important things at the top of the list, right? The strongest commitment should be to God. I think that's my opinion. And then to ourselves, then to our marriage, our husband, wife, and then our family, and so on. The problem is that we commit to other things that are not so important, as I was saying, and that puts our priorities at risk, right? So may your priority be to know God more every single day. And I invite you to commit to doing this. If we accept the challenge of seeking God with all of our hearts, then he must be our priority. He needs to be our priority. So check that in your life. Is he your priority? Is God a priority for you? All right. So next time we'll talk about the fourth decision that King Asa did that made him seek God with all his heart. All right. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, amazing weekend, and we will talk to you soon.